Chapter 11, review. First section, we're looking at this diagram here. It says name three segments parallel to HE. So this is HE right here. So I can only have a certain limited amount that are parallel to this one. So one line right there, one line right there, and one line right there. They're never going to touch. So those would be called MN, AG, and RS. Name three segments parallel to OT. So let me erase this real quick. So I have OT. So again, I just got to find three segments parallel to that. I could call that MH, SG, and AR. You could also use QX. So just naming three of them would be MH, SG, AR. One segment that is skew to SG. Remember, skew is going in a different way. So it's not parallel, opposite of parallel. So SG is right here. So one that's going to touch it but is going in a different way. So you could have that either EX, which would be right here, or you could have one such as RQ, which would be right here, because eventually those are going to intersect. Eventually with SQ right here, this is going down here, and eventually they would intersect there, further down. All right, so number 4, name one segment that is skew to MN. So MN, I'm looking for a segment that's skew to that. I could do obviously several of them, but let's just say one of them would be QX. This is going to eventually run into this right here. Name a plane that is parallel to plane MHO. So I'm looking at a plane here. Remember, that's 3 letters, so MHO is going to be this side or this part of this diagram. And then also I need to find out a plane that is parallel to it, so one that's never going to touch it. So if I have this guy right here, these are never going to touch if they go up or down. Okay? So I would name that plane QRA. Now you could also use any variation of X, AR, X, RA, things like that, as long as you have those 3 of the plane letters in there. Name a plane parallel to SGA. So I have SGA, which is this bottom one. So the only one that would be parallel to it would be the one right here. And again, all I need to do is name 3 of those letters. So I'm just going to do M, N, E. Okay, name a segment that intersects QR. So I have QR right here. So one that's going to intersect it. So I'm going to have to do something like this. So that would be XQ. Okay, let's see, name a segment that intersects XA. So I have XA right here, so one I'm just looking at intersects it, or if it will go through it. So you could do this one, or you could do this one. I'll just name it as RA. All right, so now we're looking at different angles here, okay? So angle 7, I have angle 7 right here, I have angle 3. So if you're looking at this, we're not worried about this right now, we're just worried about this left section. This is going to be where we bring the softball down. So if I bring this down, angle 7 is in the top right, angle 3 is in the top right. That means they are corresponding angles. Okay. 9, 13 and 10. 13 is on the inside, 10 is on the inside, and then if I look at this line right here, they're both on the same side, so they're same side interior. So maybe that would be 4. 4 and 9, be 4 here and 9 here. They're both on the inside. And then using this line, they're both on the same side, so it'd be same side interior as well. I'm sorry, I did the wrong one there. That should be 2. As well as number 9 should be 2. Sorry about that. 5. So we're looking at, or I'm sorry, at number 11, we're looking at 5 and 3. So I've got 5 here, and then I have 3 here. They're on opposite sides of this line right here, but they're both on the inside, so they are alternate interior. Alternate interior, so that'd be 3. And then 5 and 15. So I have 5 here, I have 15 here. So notice they're on the outside and they are on opposite sides. So they are alternating exterior angles. So I'd have that as number 5, which would be a V. One and 6. So I have angle 1 right here. I have angle 6 right here. This is going to be the line that is my transversal. So that looks like they're on the same side. They're over here. And then 1 is on the outside, and then 1 is also on the outside. So they're same side exterior. So I'd have that down as 4, which is just IV. 14. I'm looking at 1 and, no, actually I did that 1 too fast. 1V there. 1 and 6 comes up twice. I don't know why that happens. All right, Mr. Claus trying to make things complicated as usual. 15, I have angle 15 right there, and then I have, sorry, not angle 15. Number 15 is 12 and 14. So this is my transversal right here. They're on opposite sides, so they're alternating, and then they are both on the outside here, so they are exterior. So alternating exterior, which is just V. (11) and 13. So angle 11's here, angle 13's here. This is my transversal. So they're on opposite sides, so that's alternating. And then they're both on the inside here. So that's interior, alternating interior angles. So that'd be number 3. (1 and 8. I think you'll hit 1 here, 1 and 8 here. Transversal is that line. So this one might be a little bit tricky because it's not corresponding, because they can't take this whole thing down, and that means it have to be 1 and 5, so that can't work. They're on alternating, but then one's on the interior and one's on the exterior. So this one's throwing you for a loop, so it'd be 6, or in other words, none. 4 and 12. So I have 4 here, I have 12 here. This is my transversal. Now notice that they're both in the bottom left. So in this little circle right here, it's in the bottom left, and this little circle right here is in the bottom left. So that means they would be corresponding. And then the last one is 10 and 15. So I have this angle right here and this angle right here. So I can't do the like softball rule, because this one's in the top, 10 is in the top left and 15 is in the top right, so they wouldn't match over each other. One's on the interior, one's on the exterior, and then they're alternating. So it would be none of these, so it would just be none. All right, in measure 5, in the figure, measure 5 equals 72. So if I were to blow that up a little bit, that would be 72 right there. Now, knowing that, I can just fill in most of my stuff. This is going to be 72, which means this is 72, which means this is 72. Then I can take, because a flat line is equal to 180, so if I'm looking at measure 1, I know that 180 minus 72 is going to be equal to 108. And vertical angles say that they are equal. So now I have everything I need. I have found out all of the angles. So angle 4 is going to be, so if I were to erase this, angle 4 would be equal to 72. Angle 2 would be equal to 72. Angle 1 would then be equal to 108. Angle 3 would be equal to 108. Angle 4 is going to be equal, oh, sorry, not angle 4, angle 8 is going to be equal to 108. And angle 6 is going to be equal to 108 as well. All right, so we're assuming that line R is parallel to line S. So measure 1 is equal to 3x plus 25. And measure 7 is going to be equal to 5x minus 13. So we need to find x. So we need to find out what is the relationship between these two angles, angle 1 and angle 7. So they are on the same side, and then they are also on the exterior. So we need to ask ourselves, are they going to be equal to another or supplementary? So in this instance, they would be supplementary. So I have 3x plus 25, that's one angle, plus 5x minus 13, which is the second angle, and that's going to be equal to 180 degrees. Now I got to combine like terms. The 3x and the 5x make 8x, and then 25 minus 13, it's going to be 12, equals 180, and then we're just doing the basic algebra. And minus the 12 on each side, so 180 minus 12 is 168. Divide that by 8, I get x is equal to 21. All right, that was, let's see here, that was 26, so let's go on to 27. So we need to find x, y, and z. So this one's gonna be a little bit tricky, but that's all right, we got this one. So I know that what I need to do is find, it's kind of like a puzzle. If I can find one of these and find out what's given to me, it'll make sense. So first off, right here, you see that that's a straight line, right? So I can have 106 plus 2y is gonna be equal to 180. Okay, so then I'm gonna have 2y, I'm gonna minus the 106 on each side. And that's going to be equal to 176 or 174. Then I'm going to do 174 divided by 2. And I'm going to have x is equal to 87, but I think I did that wrong. What did I do wrong on that one? Oh, 108 minus 106 is not 174, it's 74. Doing that mental math in my head wrong. So then I divide that by 2, and I get x, or I'm sorry, y is going to be equal to 37. All right, so now that I know that it's 37, I have same side interior between, let me erase this real quick. So I can know that this is 2y as well, but it really, either way is fine, okay? So we have, for the x, we have the x here, and we have the 106 right there. So we have same side interior, okay? So same side interior, they're also gonna be supplementary, so I'm gonna have 106 plus x is going to be equal to 180. And then I take 180 minus 76. It's going to be equal to, I'm sorry, not 180 minus 106. X is going to be equal to 74. So I know now that this is 74 degrees. So that means this is 74. So now if I'm looking at this final line for Z, this is the transversal, which means that these two are same side interior. So to find Z, all I would need to do is have 4z plus 6 plus 74 is going to be equal to 180. So then combine like terms, 4z plus 80 is equal to 180. I'm going to have 4z then. I'm going to minus the 80 on each side. I'm going to have that equal to 100. And then 100 divided by 4, z is going to equal 25. So those are my three answers there. A little bit of work to be done, but just remember the vertical lines rule and then things that are supplementary. 28, find x and y to make the lines parallel. Essentially, we're just using the same rules, okay? So I know you could do this a couple different ways. I know that these right here are going to be supplementary, the x and the 3y, but I can't, it's two variables, it's not going to work out for me. So I'm going to use, since it's a y, I'm going to use this angle, and I'm going to use this angle. Those are alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are congruent, meaning they equal each other. So 3y is going to be equal to 8y minus 15. I'm going to minus the 8y, so it'll be negative 5y is equal to a negative 15. So then y is going to be equal to 3. Now knowing that, I can cross this out, and that'd be 3y, so this new one would be 9. So then x, since this is a flat line here, or that because they're same side interior, x plus 9 is going to be equal to 180 degrees because it's a flat line. So then x is going to be equal to 171. 29, real easy way to do this one is to just extend your lines, okay? Then you can visually see what we're looking for. So this 8 right here, and then we have this angle right here. So looking at these angles, I know, so there's an angle right here, and then there's an angle right here. So using my softball rule, I understand that they're in the bottom left, so that these 4 angles, if I put them over these 4 angles, it's going to be congruent to one another. So I'm just going to set 6x plus 4 as equal to 8x minus 8. I'm going to minus the 8x on each side, so it would be negative 2x plus 4. It's going to equal to negative 8. I'm going to minus 4 on each side, so negative 2x is going to be equal to a negative 12. And then when I divide that by negative 2, x is going to be equal to 6. All right, so now we're finding x and y here. Always mark down what you are given. That's a 90-degree sign, so that's 90 degrees right there. So what I need to do is, I know this is a flat line right here. So this would be 2x plus 90 is equal to 180 degrees, right? So then 2x would then be equal to 90, and x would be equal to 45. Now this also is a straight line, so if I set that equal to, I'll have 3y plus 10 is going to, then adding 5y plus 18. So this is one angle, this is the second angle. It's going to be equal to 180, so I'm going to combine my terms. 8y plus 28 is going to be equal to 180. I'm going to minus 28 on each side, so it's going to give me 8y is equal to 152. I'm going to divide that by 8, and I get 19. So y is going to be equal to 19. All right, 31. Find x and y so that L and M are parallel. Just assume that L and M are parallel. So now we just got to find, you could do either one of these first. So like, for example, like y, that's this angle, and this is 130. Those are alternate interior angles, so that means they're congruent. So 5y is going to be equal to 130 degrees. So if I divide that, y is going to be equal to, I believe it's 26. Let me double check. 130 divided by 5 is 26. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep this 130 right here, and I have this angle right here. Those are same side interior, so that means they're supplementary or equal to 180. So then it's going to be 2x plus 6 plus 130 is going to be equal to 180. 2x, I'm going to combine like terms, 139 is equal to 180. I'm gonna do 180 minus 139. It's gonna give me 41. So 2x is going to be equal to 41. Divide that by 2. I got 20.5. That's not right. What am I doing wrong here? I did something wrong. That's 136, not 139. 136 here. Did my algebra wrong. So 180 minus 136 is 44. Divide that by 2, and I get x is equal to 22. All right, so we're looking for x here. So that's this angle right here, and then we have this angle right here. So this one's a little tricky because we have to do some moving around. So if 5x plus 19 is right here, using the vertical angles, that would mean that this is 5x plus 19. So not 39, 5x plus 19. So then that would mean, I'm going to do this in purple, that this angle right here and this angle right here are the ones we can then look at, and those are same side interior. So again, this angle, I'm going to use this angle right here and this angle right here. When I add those up, they're going to be supplementary. So 5x plus 19 plus 7x minus 5 equals 180. That's one angle. That's the second angle. Combine my like terms. It's going to be 12x, and then I have 19 minus 5, which is going to be equal to 14. It's equal to 180. I'm going to minus the 14 on each side, so 180 minus 14, it's going to be equal to 166. Divide that by 12. You can get a decimal here, so x is going to be equal to 13.8. So a decimal, it is tricky, but that is the right answer. All right, similar situation here. I see that I have two different variables, right? There's an x and a y. So this angle and this angle, we have to compare them. Is their relationship? So they are alternate exterior, and alternate exterior are equal to one another, or they are congruent. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. So 12x plus 17 is going to be equal to a negative 1x plus 14. I'll add one, so I have 13x plus 17 is equal to 14. I'm going to minus the 17 on each side. So, well, I'm already catching myself doing something wrong here. 13x, 12x plus 17. Oh, I got my x's wrong here, not here, here and here. Okay, so I was getting a decimal. I knew I was going to get a decimal, and that just did not make sense to me. So it's going to be a negative 1 plus 14x. So then I'm going to, first off, erase this 13x. So then I'm going to minus 14x on each side. So I'll have a negative 2x plus 17. It's equal to negative 1 because that crosses off. Then I'm going to add I'm going to minus 17 to each side. So I'll have a negative 2x is equal to a negative 18. And then when I divide that, x is going to be equal to 9. So now that I have x is equal to 9, I know that I can plug this in right here. And if I do that, that's negative 1 plus 14 times 9. 14 times 9 is 126, and then I minus 1. So this angle right here is going to be 125. So then using, this is a V, this is a V, those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. So I'm just going to have 11y plus 15 is equal to 125. 125 minus 15 is 110. I'm going to divide that by 11, and I get y is equal to 10. All right, going on to the next one. Almost done here. So 34, so this is the one where we're using the two farther angles on the inside is equal to the one on the outside. So this angle and this angle, these are the two corners that are farthest away from that number. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So what that means is, we'll just call this x because we don't know what it is. There's no other variables. So that means 120 degrees is going to be equal to the two farthest angles. So it's going to be x plus 50, not 15, 50. I'm going to minus 50 on each side. So x is going to be equal to, I believe it's 1, just doing my calculator, I'm messing up too much today, 70. So then x is going to be equal to 70. Now remember here, those are degrees. We're looking for degrees. I just called it x. I didn't know what that was. All right, same thing here, okay? This is our remote exterior angle. It's on the outside of the triangle. The two farthest points or the two farthest corners are these two right here. I don't know what this is. I'm just going to call it x. So that means x plus 50 is going to equal 115. I'm going to take 115 and minus 50. I should get 65. So then x is going to be equal to 65 degrees. 36. Same idea. Now I have an x in here though, but it's still fine because this is the farthest triangle, I'm sorry, the farthest corner. This is the farthest corner away from this angle right here. So if I add these two, I set them equal to the 11x plus 2. So it's going to be 5x plus 10, and then plus 58 is going to be equal to 11x plus 2. So I'm just going to combine my like terms. 5x plus 68 is equal to 11x plus 2. Then from there, I'm going to minus 11x. So 5 minus 11 is going to be negative 6. Negative 6x plus 68 is equal to 2. And then I'm going to minus 68 on each side. So 2 minus 68 is going to be a negative 66. So 6x is equal to negative 66. Then I'm just going to divide 66 divided by 6, which would be 11. And since it's both negative, it's going to be a positive 11. I did something wrong there, I can already tell. No, 66 divided by 6. Yeah, that is 11. All right, let's retry this problem and see what I did wrong. So I know this angle plus this angle equals this outer angle. So 5x plus 10 plus 58 is equal to 11x plus 2. So then I'm going to combine my terms. 5x plus 68 is equal to 11x plus 2. I'm going to just be a negative 6x, and then I'm going to minus, so 2 minus 68 will be negative 66. So I get x is equal to 11. I'm not sure what's going on here. The other way that we could solve this is, this is a straight line right here, and this is your angle, so this plus this, if I just wanted to see what an x would be, so it'd be 11x plus 2 plus, actually I can't do that either because there's an x in there, we don't know what that variable is. So I think it's 11, I'll have to double check on that one, otherwise just don't worry about 36. I'll figure it out later. All right, so this one I'm going to have, this goes in this corner right here. This one goes in this corner right here. And then these are the two farthest away corners. So I'm going to add this and I'm going to add this. So then I'm going to have 15x plus 5 plus 22x plus 4. And it's going to be equal to 120 degrees. Combine like terms. And I'm going to have, be what, 37x plus 9. I'm going to double check. So it'll be 22 plus 15, be 37x plus 9 equals 120 degrees. 120 minus 9 is equal to 111. So 37x is equal to 111. Then I'm going to divide that by 37. And that gives me x is equal to 3. All right. right, last page, 38. A little bit tricky, but that's fine. Look, there's V's here, so it means this is 35. Now I have this outside angle. We don't know what it is, but this plus this is going to equal the outside angle. So 100 plus 35 is going to be my outside angle. We'll call that x. Add those two together. 135 is going to be equal to x. So x is equal to 135. And make sure that's in degrees. All right, we don't know what this guy is. Now, I know it's a little bit tricky because you look in here and there's those V's, but we don't have anything to put in there. So we know that this is the farthest V. This is the farthest V, or the farthest corner, and this is the one on the outside, right? So it's going to be the same thing. This plus this is going to be my outside. So 30 plus 20 is going to be equal to my outside angle, which is x. So that's going to be, this is 39. Okay, so this one's a little bit tricky. The reason why it's tricky is because they put this question mark right here. Now, if I was going to use the remote exterior, I would need that angle to be right there. So let's completely do it a different way. I have 30, I have 20. Now remember, all three angles have to equal 180 in a triangle. So I'm going to do 180 minus the 30 minus the 20. So 180 minus 50 is going to be equal to 130 degrees. And then now we have our V's here, so that is going to be equal to 130 degrees as well. All right, describe the patterns, give the next two terms. So I see that each side, a dot on each side is given, so there's 5 right here. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the one in the middle. Add another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the one in the middle right there. So it's just adding 2 each time. Then we have 5, negative 10, 15, negative 20. So my next one would be, I shouldn't even put that, it's just going to be a positive 25, and then I have a negative 30. All right, we have negative 2, 1, on and on and on. So I have keep going all the way down. It looks like it just keeps being divided by negative 2, I believe. So then that would make this 1/16, and then the next one would be that'd be a negative 1/32. And then the last one here, 12, 6, 3, 1.5. So it looks like each time it's divided by 2. 0.75 divided by 2 would be 0.375, and then 1.857 divided by 2 is going to be equal to 0.1875. All right, so the last one that was tricky for me, I'm going to see what I can do about this. I don't understand why this one didn't work. For 36, maybe Mr. Class has it wrong on the answer key, I'm not sure. But it would still have to be 5x plus 10 plus 58 is equal to 11x plus 2. So that's the farthest is equal to the one on the outside. So I'm going to have 5x plus 68. It's going to be equal to 11x plus 2. All right, then I'm going to subtract 11 from 5, so 5 minus 11 is going to be equal to a negative 6x, and then I'm going to add 68. So it's going to be, so there we go, so negative 68, I'm sorry, not negative, yeah, negative 68 would then be equal to, hold on, let me take a step back here. So I know that I have negative 6x that crosses these out, and then I'm going to subtract 68 from each side, so 2 minus 68 is going to be equal to negative 66. Divide that by a negative 6. and I still get x is equal to 11. So that's what I got. I'll double check with Miss Eaton on that one, and we'll get back to you. Otherwise, let me know if you have any questions. Please email me or ask on the list in class. All right, thanks, guys.